Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Sports Insight with your host, Alamdar Khan. And yes, I will be with you guys for the next at least half an hour discussing sports and sports from all across the globe. Not to forget that you can reach us on our social media handle, which is at the rate of Indus News Sports. That basically works for Twitter as well as Instagram. But anyways, we'll go to the headlines first. Yes, Pakistan Super League. Lahore Qalandars beat Peshawar Zalmi, while Islamabad United defeated Multan Sultan on Sunday. And yes, from the world of Australian Open, Djokovic actually manages to win the 18th Grand Slam title against Medvedev. And yes, from the world of English Premier League, Manchester United won against Newcastle 3-1. Yes, from the world of NBA, James Harden, Kyrie Irving actually managed to take the Brooklyn Nets to win against the Clippers. And yes, those were the headlines, and not to forget that PSL has finally begun in our country. That is one of the most interesting things because we not only have our own players, but we surely have different players from all across the world, which definitely breaks the ice with regards to having more events like these and having international players visit Pakistan, and that's definitely a great deal for us. Not to forget that to discuss Pakistan Super League Season 6, we have with us none other than Hassan Raza. Hassan, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
So Hassan, I would start with yesterday's match with regards to Peshawar Zalmi and Lahore Qalandars to begin with. How did you see the match? How did you find the match interesting with regards to how Lahore actually managed to take over Peshawar Zalmi?
First of all, thanks from all of the sponsorship here in Pakistan, all of the players who played from participate around the world cricket league, like big bash, like Caribbean leagues and anyway kind of. The PSL project from 2016 started beginning to Sharjah, to Abu Dhabi and Dubai Sports City.
Right.
Then in Pakistan here, this PCB, lots of potential about the players and security reasons. So that's why they're playing some good cricket here in Pakistan, all the players. Lahore Qalandars, one of the biggest franchise in Pakistan PSL Super League. Definitely they have some good players, especially Davis Visa and the Mohammad Hafiz. They're some of the good players.
Right.
Shaheen Shafidi, promising player from the Pakistan cricket team as well. He's a very improvement bowler from last 5 years, consecutive playing from Test cricket, consecutive play for 58 to 22 overs matches.
Right.
So he performed very well. He got a man of the match with 3 wickets last previous matches. But Zalmi also good teams. So that's all participation here in Pakistan. Lots of world-class players playing very good cricket in PSL here.
Right. The interesting part is how Shaheen Shafidi actually managed to get 3 for 14 in just 4 overs. Obviously, player of the match, as you mentioned. And not to forget that with regards to how Mohammad Hafiz and Rashid Khan actually managed to take their journey, how do you see the match in Lahore Qalandars itself in the future with regards to their performance? Because there will be a total of 34 matches that have been actually planned, and obviously it would definitely be an interesting fix because Lahore Qalandars always, I remember seeing their manager always being upset, and how do you see that making up for them? Because obviously the first victory means a lot to any team, right?
All right, that's the biggest opportunity for Lahore Qalandars because of back then last time we played very good innings in Kazakhstan Stadium.
Right.
Lots of very strong player in Australia cricket players, but he performed very well. So Lahore Qalandars, a good plan from all year. They're playing from all years, playing from Australia, playing from emerging players produced like Haris Rauf. He played from Big Bash League.
Right.
And Suhail Akhtar also captain from Lahore Qalandars. They have a good potential team in Lahore Qalandars. Some of them very good players, so they have a capability to play winning the tournament as well. So that's why they keep fighting from each and every match. Let's see, begin starting matches, 3-4 matches early on, almost 1 month consecutive. They have some of good matches.
Right.
Because franchise, they are changing some good players to like Alice Hale. He played for Karachi Kings. Now he's seasonally playing from Islamabad United. So that's a big combination to the whole of team here in PSL.
Right. How do you see, because if we look back into PSL itself, Peshawar Zalmi obviously has a great track record. Not only them, Quetta Gladiators also have a great track record. But yet again, the show has just started, and as we see them losing, obviously their morale will definitely go down. How about we just switch over to the other match that actually took place, Islamabad United versus Multan Sultan. And not to forget, Islamabad United were the pioneers of winning the first PSL. So how do you see it good for them with regard to how they actually managed to beat Multan Sultan?
Yes, they are a winning combination from a PSL season. They were winning the champions in PSL. So that time, the Shadab Khan is also couldn't manage from Pakistan team. He's recently injury from Pakistan cricket team, but now he's a representative from Islamabad United. He's a good rounder as well himself. So let's see take over for the team and players like Ali Sahil and all the players. They're playing some good combination from Islamabad United.
Right.
So definitely they early on started 3 or 4 matches. Let's see beginning how their pitches maintained and they adjust from all the players like Ravi Bopara from England player class winning last. He got 50 runs for Zalmi. So some of the good players they're getting adjust from here in Pakistani pitches. So let's see how is this last matches is low scoring matches 121, 140 runs.
Right.
So let's see how they make the pitch from curator who are in Karachi.
Right.
So make sure we're looking forward to big sixes and fours like Chris Gill.
Right.
He is in the Kota Gladiators opening batsman like number 3 bat. So
Right.
let's see beginner matches starting. So how they improve and how they keep going on to the good performances.
Hassan, let's talk about, obviously I'm just looking at the stats as well with regards to Multan Sultan. Let's talk a bit about Mohammad Rizwan. I mean, like even this match, he actually managed to score 71 out of 53 balls. What a phenomenal asset that we have these days, right?
Well, of course, he's a very good, energetic wicketkeeper, also all-rounder. We are just trying to say about, we call him like, first of all, all-rounder. He's a keeping all-rounder. Like keeper, especially against South Africa, he's taking very good catches in Karachi Test matches, energetic. And now after that, he played for New Zealand over there in Test cricket and one-day cricket. He played remarkably 100 runs. So he's a more improvement, better than lots of players in Pakistan. But keeping out is very difficult to get kept on the stumps and, just tell the boys and lots of energy. That's why he's improved from third, former 50 overs Test matches and especially T20 as well.
Yeah,
so he's a very talented player.
He proved himself as a valuable asset to the country, the nation, the team. Why? Because he not only managed to prove himself as a test cricketer or a test batsman, he also managed himself to prove himself as a T20 player. And obviously with regards to how he has been keeping for the team. Like I said, a big asset. And against South Africa, as we saw, it was very, very interesting on how he evolved himself to what he is. And everybody's looking to call him like Mr. Consistent. That's something we need.
That's why he replaced from Sarfraz Ahmed. Sarfraz Ahmed was the captain from last 5 years Pakistan cricket team.
Right.
So he dropped back from the Kota Gladiator. He was a captain over there. So lots of pressure from these kind of situations.
Right.
So that's why he given the chance. So PCB given the chance. PCB selectors given the chance. There's one playing from very good position, like play for number 3 batting as well. Right. According to the situation, he played for remarkably. So that's a good energy from his asset from Pakistan cricket. So that's why I like Pas and Rashid Latif and Moin Khan, they have a big, huge wicket-keeper batsman as well. So that's why he named from mentioned Rizwan. He improved himself a lot of every matches.
Right. Let's go to the first match that actually happened. Obviously, we'll surely talk about that. Quetta Gladiators versus Karachi King. That was the opening match. Obviously, Karachi having the edge of their home ground to begin with. Let's take it that way. How do you see Karachi Kings' victory? Obviously, they're the former champions for the PSL.
They have a very good combination, Sultan, Singh Sultan, one of the Wasim Akram, he is a legendary fast bowler.
Right.
Especially, he can teach them from the bowlers. Mohammad Amir, attacking bowler, experienced bowler. He bowled very good within the stumps, on line to line, very good. Especially Captain Ahmad Wasim is a good combination with the team.
Right.
And we talk about the Karachi Kings, they need to be good combination with the team, like bowling or batting. Right. So Arshad, fast bowler, he is a very good fast bowler. Recently played from the Master in Punjab. He bowled very well, took 3 wickets. Amir Yami, especially Karachi Kings, is very nippy bowler, a swing bowler off the pitch, seam. So that's why took Sarfraz Ahmed, the caution bowl, got behind. So they have a good combination in Karachi Kings. And Karachi Kings is one of the best teams. And last year as well, he see 222 runs, highest runs in the PSL season last year.
Right.
So they have a good attacking batsman, especially Babar Azam and form batsman, who played a very good innings as well for Karachi Kings.
Right. Which team would you consider to be your favorite team?
My favorite, one team will win, one team is lost. But let's see about the combination about the teams.
Right.
Multan Sultan is a very good team, I reckon. His bowling side is very good. Especially Shahid Afridi was there, Imran Tahir, and Usman Qadir, legendary Abdul Qadir son. He lots of improved last against South Africa T20 squad. He took 3 wickets in Kazakhstan Stadium. So lots of teams very good and effortless. So let's see who starting winning matches. They need to be good combination with the team.
Right. With Usman Khader, obviously, as you mentioned, I think he's a phenomenal bowler with regards to how he manages to, because sometimes whenever I go on social media, there are always social media warriors having arguments and fights, and I remember people talking against him, but he managed to prove his worth back then, and even he's still managing to prove his worth right now. How do you see that?
Of course, he played from Big Bash as well a few years back.
Right.
And then Mustaq Ahmed, he was a coach from Multan Sultan, bowling coach. He recommended him, and because he performed very good in Big Bash over there, then he came back to the Pakistan and he played for chance from Pakistan T20 squad. So he improved himself against Zimbabwe last. He played against South Africa. He took wickets. So that's why they are the young players from Pakistan assets. So they are a good combination with the Pakistan team.
Right.
So he's improved himself because of his son of Abdul Qadir, legendary leg spinner bowler.
Right.
So he's given chance. He gives the good tips as well. So now that's why he improved himself and playing from might be longer from Pakistan cricket.
Right. Having someone as legendary as his father, obviously, it takes a lot of courage for a son to come up and perform that way. Anyways, besides PSL, let's have a quick word with regards to how Pakistan performed super well against South Africa. But the next thing is that we are planning on going to visit the Proteas in April. How do you see those matches against the ones that we played here if we had the same team?
That's a very difficult, because when we are playing from home series, we have a good chance available here in Pakistan because of these kind of pitches, spin pitches, rough patches. They are used like Noman, left-arm spinner, took 7 wickets in the match.
Right.
When they are going to outside in South Africa or New Zealand, so very difficult because fast pitches over there, different tracks.
Right.
There need to be more improvement themselves against the South African pitches and South African atmosphere. One of the batsmen from Babar Azam especially, he needs to good work out himself because last year, last few months, he's not played from New Zealand over there. So he was not there. That's why Pakistan lost as well. We need to be 1 or 2 batsmen, middle order batsmen. They took the 300, 400 runs in Test cricket. That's why they're having the Test combination.
Right.
So that's South African pitches is very difficult. They need to be good hard work in Pakistan here, 1 month camp or training. Then they work out what is the main error, main mistakes. They learn from them and then perform over there in South Africa.
Right. Let's hope for the best. Hassan, sir, thank you so very much for being on the show with us and discussing and sharing your wisdom with regards to PSL. Not only that, with regards to Pakistan cricket team. But anyways, that was basic updates with regards to cricket. I'll be back after the break and then we'll discuss more. See you guys after the break. All right, welcome back after the break. And yes, we were discussing an interesting thing that's come up. Yes, the Australian Open. We've talked about cricket side, but we want to talk more about the Australian Open. And not to forget that to discuss that, because we had finals, and it was an interesting final with regards to the men's side and the women's side. The women's side actually took place earlier, and in which Naomi Osaka managed to win against Brady 6-4, 6-3. It was like such a clear approach towards how she executed on getting that victory. It was good for her. Not to forget, Osaka won in the semi-finals against Serena Williams at a very strong intake with regards to breaking down Serena Williams. And obviously after that, Serena Williams was really upset with regards to how, the entire situation shattered her, because she was looking at her 24th Grand Slam. It didn't really happen. Not only that, we had Djokovic eventually managing to win the men's final. And to discuss this, we have Pakistan #2 champion, and Aqil Khan is with us. Aqil, thank you for being with us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So, Aqil, I would want your intake and input with regards to the entire Australian Open. Obviously, how it started, it was delayed slowly and gradually because of the COVID-19 situation. And with time, obviously, it came to a point of many of the players were unable to perform as they wanted to perform. They were really frustrated. So how you as a sportsman see this impact of COVID-19 situation on players across the globe?
Well, seriously, it was not easy because I was there in Australian Open with Samuel Qureshi as a hitting partner.
Right.
I just came last week.
Right.
So it was not easy. 14-day was quarantine. Some of the players had a full quarantine, like 14 days. They cannot go out and practice or gym anything.
Right.
But luckily, we can, me and Assam, and we can go out for 3 hours. Some of
Right.
the players can go 3 hours for practice and gym.
Right.
Many players had complained that they are totally 100% in quarantine. They cannot play, and so they especially keep one tournament before Australian Open, and was 3 tournament in one venue in Melbourne Park. Was 2 ATP tournament and 1 ATP Cup.
Right.
The big players like Djokovic and all, Nadal. Nadal was surprising. He was not playing. He was in the team, but he was practicing every day. But he was not playing ATP Cup. Djokovic playing ATP Cup. So it was not easy for everyone. Everyone is complaining.
Right. So how do you see this victory? Obviously, Djokovic managed to get his 18th Grand Slam title on Sunday, and not to forget that Naomi Osaka was literally on fire when she actually took over Brady, 6-4, 6-3 straight win. How do you see this? Because Serena Williams was really, really frustrated, if you remember, in the semi-finals.
Well, yes, I have seen many practices of Osaka and saw a couple of matches of Osaka during the Australian Open.
Right.
वो लग रहा था कि she can manage easily the way she was playing against Serena Williams, of course, 23-time Grand Slam champion, or it was not easy for her. But I think this young generation or the way she's playing Osaka, it's
Right.
unbelievable. मेरे ख्याल से it's gonna be next world number one for a quite long time. Osaka.
Right. What about Djokovic? How do you see Djokovic's perspective on how he took over on Medvedev? And not to forget that it was an interesting match, 7-5, 6-2, 6-2.
Well, it's not an interesting match. I was expecting that, seriously, I was telling to my friend and even tennis group, Pakistan tennis group, that Medvedev is going to win this tournament because Djokovic have some problem in core में कुछ problem था. He was taping every time. If you see that, I think fourth round or something, Djokovic was 2-0 up, and then he lost 6-3, 6-2, and then he come back in the fifth set. He takes some for sure painkiller or
Exactly. When it comes to these kind of perspectives, because not only Djokovic, obviously he had his issues going. All the players were going through their issues with regards to how not only the COVID situation, but otherwise, even with regards to Nadal himself, he just could not, get through to the semis. How do you see that happening? Because everybody was expecting that at the end of it all, maybe Djokovic may eventually have to face him.
well, to be honest, I was thinking that the Nadal gonna win this Australian Open. I saw that Nadal and Fognini match. I was sitting there. He was playing really good, but I don't know what happened to Nadal. 2 love up and 2 love up, and he missed really easy over it in tiebreak. And after that, he was not in the match, I think.
Right.
Nadal, but it's very bad loss. I can say 2 love up and Nadal and like this. If you see that Djokovic playing against Zverev, he was like 7-6. He lost first set 7-6. Djokovic and won 6-2 or 6-3 second set, and then he was down 4-1 in the third set.
Right.
Djokovic won that set, and then he was and Zverev up 3 love up.
Right.
Which is not easy. Medvedev was playing unbelievable tennis. He won last year Paris Master, and then he won ATP tournament, NATO ATP Top 8 tournament.
Right.
Just Australian Open, the way he was playing. So I was thinking, can Djokovic scared of kind of Medvedev game? Medvedev's games were totally different than other players.
Right.
Weird style and stuff, but
Right.
he quite consistent, but was one-sided match. Against.
Yeah, I understand. So let's talk about not only that, because obviously the styles are different, the tennis approach is different. It wasn't the grass tennis, it was more or less the hard court tennis, it wasn't clay tennis. And as you said, as you've definitely witnessed how Nadal performed back then, because I saw the match too, and I was like, he was putting all his energies. And remember that, everybody could easily see, because he was way up at the starting of the sets, but eventually, he just collapsed. I think maybe he lost his wit, or maybe it came to a point of no return for him. How do you see? Because he looked tired at the end of it all.
He was not tired. Actually, I've seen Nadal many practices. Whenever he was in practice, he gave like I was telling to my friend, always, every minute, every second, he's like 100% in the practice.
Right.
I've seen that very closely next to my court. Uh, Being a player, you playing, if you are winning like 2 set to love up with anyone, they start thinking.
Right.
If they're scared, they start thinking for the next match.
Right. So I absolutely agree. And with regards to, obviously, I've had this conversation with a lot of people with regards to that, now sportsmen have to have that agility and the mental strength because of these COVID situations. And they are players, they're supposed to be practiced and, made sure that they can face such situations. Besides this Australian Open, would you like to just add in a bit of your journey as a player? How did you start your journey, and how is it? How has the journey been so far? Has there been support from the government, from people? I would rather just have the ending side talking a bit about you.
Well, I started as a ball boy in the club. My father is coach in Modern Club in Karachi. Still is coaching in the club.
Right.
I started as a ball boy. I start picking up the racket and I start playing with the members and the friends. Then I start play one tournament in Karachi. There is one of the biggest tournament in Karachi that in 90, 92, 93, 94,
Right.
ICI Open.
Right.
And I perform quarter final, and then everyone come to me and then he plays that you play really good. I was talking to myself. I play just normal my tennis, and they said no, you play really well.
Right.
And then first time in 93, 93 or 94, I selected as in the under 14 team,
Right.
under 14 team, and then I started playing slowly. And when I was 18, number one, I said, okay, now I have to take as a professional career for tennis.
Right.
And then I come government sport. You can say we never had all takriban 80, 90, 99% player from Wabda. Wabda support tennis a lot from
Right.
from last 30, 40 years.
Right.
Or government level पे ऐसा कोई we didn't have any support to go abroad and play many tournament. My best ranking was in 2004 when I started playing a lot of international tournament in India, especially because India is cheaper for us to go easily, move easily. My best ranking was 316 ATP. Then I didn't get any sponsor to play, continue more big tournament, ATP Challenger tournament.
Right.
So I'm still happy playing Davis Cup from last 20 years and Pakistan number one from last 20 years. So playing this national tournament.
Right. So, but anyways, I absolutely understand the amount of frustration one gets with regards to not getting the ample support that one wants. And like you said, that Wabda had definitely helped you guys. And I hope Wabda is still pursuing and helping you guys with regards to the tennis players and the upcoming players who actually want to learn and be there.
Well, Wabda still, whenever, if any good player under 14, under 16 player come perform in national level, Wabda take him for a sponsor basis, and they sponsor for like 20, 30 years like this.
Right.
I'm with Wabda like 22 years.
Right. Anyways, it was an absolute pleasure having you, Akil, on board with us on this show. And that was basically Akil Khan discussing all about the Australian Open. Obviously, it has been interesting with regards to Djokovic winning, and not to forget that Osaka also won. And from now, I would definitely switch over to the next part, which is going to be the English Premier League. Yes, obviously, as we discuss all sorts of sports, that's how it's rolled. English Premier League, yes, Manchester United won against Newcastle 3-1 on Sunday. And if you talk about this entire situation, things are really bouncing up. But with regards to how all the teams are performing, it's going to be interesting because Manchester City will remain on the top, which we've been talking about earlier as well. If we actually look at the standing side, that would be more interesting, not only seeing them win against Newcastle. Obviously, Manchester United is one of the favorites, top favorites of people. Manchester United right now is on the number 2 with regards to the Premier League standing, and number 1 is Manchester City, which is definitely, with regards to the points, it's a huge gap. Let's hope that Manchester City remains there, or maybe if Manchester United wants to continue winning, and if they could maybe manage themselves in getting there. That was with regards to Premier League. I will switch over to the next side, which is the NBA. Yes, with regards to the NBA, Brooklyn Nets won against the LA Clipper 112 and 108 on Sunday. And James Harden, yes, James Harden made 37 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists against the Clipper. And not to forget that Kevin Durant missed his 4th straight game due to injury, because ultimately they had this trio that had to work for them. But not to forget, they still managed to win, and Kevin Durant missed this match again because of the fact that he's also suffering from an injury. Anyways, I hope for the future perspective, things go interestingly well for the NBA and specifically for the Brooklyn Nets. Not to forget, Kyrie Irving is still playing, and obviously he and James Harden managed to take their team to the lead. Anyways, this was from the world of sports. If you guys want to reach to us, you surely can on our social media handle, which is @Indus News Sports. Till then, take good care of yourself, and bye-bye.